Whatever scares you, go do it. I remember when I was 18 years old and I had just returned home after travelling around Europe for 1 month, and I was riding high on the charisma and confidence and social skills I had developed over the previous month. But when I returned home, my first thought was, I don't want to lose these social skills. I don't want to lose this charisma. So what can I do in order to maintain this? And online I came across a club called Toastmasters. Now, Toastmasters is a public speaking club. It's for people who have been publicly speaking their whole life and they just want to hone their skills, or for 18-year-old young men like me who have just returned home from travelling and want to maintain and develop their charisma further. So it was a cold winter's Wednesday night in the UK, and I thought, okay, Toastmasters is on tonight. I'm going to go for my first session, even though this makes me hesitate and it is making me crap in my pants. So I got sophisticatedly dressed as an 18-year-old young man can be, and I went there. It was in the local town hall in the town in which I'm from, Maidstone, and I walked in and I thought, okay, I'm not that nervous because I'm no stranger to introducing myself to a room of strangers, but the thought in the back of my mind that I could potentially be called upon in order to give a speech was making me hesitate. So I introduced myself to everyone, and I had 2 initial sessions, which, even though I was hesitating and I was nervous as hell, I gave a 1-minute speech after being asked a question, and you have to spontaneously respond to this question. So I'm thinking, okay, nice, the charisma's still going, I'm riding on a new wave back in the UK, I'm going to continue going to this Toastmasters thing. In fact, I'm going to bring some of my friends down so they can get on this charisma journey as well, although I found out most people hate public speaking, just like I did at that time. But anyway, feel the fear but do it anyway. On my 3rd session, I remember I went there as normal. It was 7:30 in the evening on another Wednesday in the UK, and there was about 20 of us there, some new faces, and everyone was hustling and bustling in the village hall and getting ready for the session to start. I was speaking to this newcomer, this guy who'd never done public speaking before, who was very charismatic, and he just wanted to develop his public speaking skills, but he was a little bit nervous. So I thought, I'm an expert now. I've had 2 sessions. So I started speaking to him about how the session usually goes, what he can expect, and how to deal with nerves as well. But then I looked to my left, and as I check on everyone hustling and bustling and finding their seats before the session begins, as this guy's still speaking to me, I see the organiser of the session, the main Toastmaster, come walking straight towards me with a pen and a piece of paper in his hand, and my heart instantly starts beating as this guy is still speaking to me, because I have an inkling as to what this guy is about to ask me. So anyway, I turn to meet this guy like a Spartan warrior greets the enemy. I paused the conversation with this newcomer and I spoke to this guy. He came up to me and said, "Lewis, I've got a quick question to ask you." I said, "Yeah, of course." As my heart is beating and my palms are sweating, anticipating what he's going to ask me, and he says, "I'm really sorry, but one of the organisers who was meant to lead the session tonight has called in sick. Is there any chance, even though you've only had 2 sessions, you could step in and help us out tonight?" And my mind instantly starts racing. My heart is beating outside of my chest as this newcomer is standing right next to me, who I've been giving it the big and two, that I've been to 2 sessions and I know all about Toastmasters. I instantly just ask him so many questions, every question under the sun. What do I have to do? How long do I have to speak for? What do you expect? How am I meant to conduct myself while I'm on stage? What words shall I use? He's like, "Look, all you have to do is stand in front of everyone, orient them to the fact that the session is about to start, think of a word of the day, write the definition on the board, explain it to us, and then in between each speech that people give, just reorient us back into the next speech that is about to happen, okay? You're only going to be speaking for 10 to 15 minutes tonight." And I thought, 10 to 15 minutes? I've literally done 2 1-minute speeches. What the hell? 2 minutes go past, and he stood there waiting for my response, and I just instantly go, "I don't know. I don't think I can do it," I tell him. "I really don't know." 3 minutes go by, 4 minutes go by, and I'm hesitating, I'm deliberating in my head. This guy's getting more agitated because everyone's sitting down and it's getting closer to 7:30 and we're about to start the session and he needs a decision now, but I'm still hesitating. But then suddenly the newcomer to my right, after seeing that I'm hesitating, steps in and says, "I'll do it." And I instantly just sink my shoulders and think, okay, you do it. You do it for me. So he takes the role, and for the next hour and a half, I have to endure the fact, the open loop in my head, that I hesitated to make a decision that could have propelled me forward in developing my skills of public speaking. The whole reason I'm here and everyone else is here in the first place. I have to live with that open loop in my head. But not only that, I have to sit there for the next hour and a half while everyone is having a brilliant time enjoying the session, and I have to watch this newcomer who's doing the role that I had the opportunity to do but chickened out of, smash it. He smashed it out of the park. He picked a funny word of the day. He made the audience laugh. He was charismatic. We could actively tell that he hadn't done public speaking before because he owned it through his vulnerability, but it was brilliant. He oriented us to the session. He kept it flowing. He kept everything at a nice pace. It seemed as if he'd done public speaking multiple times before in his life. And after the session, we finished it and went home. I shook everyone's hand. And for the next 3 weeks, I lived with that open loop in my mind of the hesitation that I showed and the decision that I made in cowardice. You know, I think a lot of the times we put limitations on ourselves because we don't think we're capable of acting out a decision that we want to make, or we think that we don't have the resources at hand, or we're not in the right environment to make a decision out of courage, and we think, you know, I'm just not ready yet, I just need to wait. But the one thing I learned from this experience is you'll never feel ready for something that is a necessary and optimal level of challenge for you. In fact, what makes you hesitate is probably a good indication of what you should do. Now, analysing that experience that I had, the one thing that tripped me up is I wanted to do a good job. I didn't want to look like a fool in front of everyone else, and I had an air of perfectionism about the way I was interpreting the situation when I got offered the opportunity to really step out of my comfort zone. I thought I didn't want to mess up, whereas this guy instantly said yes, and he embraced the transcendent power of vulnerability. Now, a lot of the times we think about vulnerability in the sense of, you know, sitting in front of someone and unleashing all of your heartfelt emotions to them while they listen and you breaking down in tears. Vulnerability isn't always that. Vulnerability is taking the step and understanding that you'll figure it out as you go along, and understanding that you're not going to be able to act with perfection. You're not going to make the most perfect decision all of the time and take the most optimal course of action, but you're going to act anyway. And whatever you need to figure out as you go along, you'll figure it out. You know, I think a lot of the time, all of us live online lives nowadays. We're involved in the internet in some way, and it's so easy for us nowadays to sublimate our virtues through other people, especially our courage. You know, you see influencers online nowadays live the utmost life of, you know, splendor that you could never imagine yourself living. You think, oh my god, how could this person travel there and live in this country? Oh my god, I can't believe he approached the girl. Oh my god, how did she give up everything that she had in her life to pursue what she actually wants to do in life? I can't believe she had the courage to do that. But a lot of the time, if I had a gun to your head, you would act with a lot more courage than you already do. But we continue to sublimate and live our courage through the lives of others because it's easier to do that way. You know, it's easier to watch the hero on screen enact the hero's journey than actually go out and call that hero's journey upon yourself deliberately so you can garner the necessary virtue that you need to, which is courage. You know, I think a lot of the states that we want in life, whether it's happiness, stillness, courage, peace, serenity. They're habits. In the same way as a healthy body is cultivated through habits, a house full of love is cultivated through habits, your courage is cultivated through your habits. Through the micro choices that you make every day to step outside of your comfort zone. Your life expands or shrinks in proportion to your courage. And perfectionism comes from insecurity, whereas courage comes through embodying your insecurity. I heard a saying the other day that the path illuminates as you walk it. So courage is putting your arse on the line, getting skin in the game, acting now, knowing that you will never be fully ready, and waiting for the time when you're fully ready is the easiest way to waste your time. And to understand that you will figure it out as you go along. You know, the difference between people who actually are courageous is they take the shot. They shoot it. Kobe. They don't wait around, waiting for a moment when they're ready. I don't regret the experience that I had in the story that I told you, because I've understood now from that experience that whenever I feel hesitation, instantly I should do that thing. You know, what you fear is an indication of what you seek, and the lessons you need are still in the tasks that you're avoiding. And look, I 100% get why you don't always act with courage. It's probably the hardest virtue to cultivate, because our neck is on the line. You know, fear gets pumping and you think, oh my god, you know, this situation might kill me. But the easiest way to ruin your life and to develop a lack of confidence is to just keep the open loops of not making decisions in your mind. Don't act, don't decide. If you want to ruin your life, don't act with courage. Don't put your arse on the line. So, shoot the shot. Text the girl. Call that person and tell them what they mean to you and what you actually want to say to them. Or the opposite, call that person and tell them that even though you care for them, they're not the right person for you to keep in your life. Book the flight, even though you're not sure if it will all work out. Get rid of all of your possessions and travel to the country that you actually want to live in and start building your life there. Approach the girl. Tell the boy what he means to you. Quit the job. Pursue the new job. Act with courage. And whatever scares you, go do it.